Robyn Brown allegedly left her first husband with absolutely nothing, and sources are now whispering that Kody Brown is about to experience that exact same fate. The whispers started as speculation, but insiders close to the situation say they have allegedly been watching Robyn quietly position herself financially for months, moving chess pieces that Kody cannot even see. The woman America has watched cry on camera for over a decade. The wife who always positioned herself as the loyal one, the devoted one, the one who would never abandon her plural marriage, may allegedly be executing the most calculated exit strategy in reality television history. Let that sink in for a moment. While Kody Brown has spent years defending Robyn against accusations from fans, from his other wives, and even from his own children, she has allegedly been building an escape route right under his nose. The signs were there all along, folks. Every tearful interview, every defensive statement, every carefully worded confession was allegedly laying groundwork for something much bigger. Sources familiar with the Browns say the parallels between what happened to Preston Jessop and what is allegedly happening to Kody right now are impossible to ignore. One insider put it bluntly when they said Robyn does not leave marriages, she allegedly dismantles them from the inside out first. And they are absolutely right. This is not a woman who walks away empty-handed. This is allegedly a woman who ensures she walks away with everything while her partner is left wondering what the hell just happened. The public image of loyal Robyn, suffering Robyn, misunderstood Robyn has allegedly been a masterclass in manipulation that even the most devoted Sister Wives fans failed to see. But here is what makes this situation absolutely explosive. Kody spent years telling anyone who would listen that Robyn's first divorce was justified, that David was the problem, that Robyn was the victim who deserved to be rescued. He built his entire relationship with her on the foundation that she was wronged and he would make it right. The irony is absolutely staggering, because according to multiple sources now connecting the dots, everything Kody believed about that first marriage may have allegedly been Robyn's carefully constructed narrative designed to secure her next target. The Coyote Pass property chaos that has dominated recent headlines is allegedly just one piece of evidence that financial maneuvering has already begun. While Janelle fights for her share and Christine has long moved on, Robyn allegedly sits protected in her million-dollar mansion watching the empire burn. Those close to the family say this is not coincidence. This is allegedly the playbook being executed in real time. And we are about to expose every single alleged move she has made, starting with how she did it the first time. To understand what is allegedly unfolding in the Brown family right now, we need to take a hard look at how Robyn Sullivan became Robyn Jessop, and then how Robyn Jessop became Robyn Brown while allegedly leaving her first husband in financial and emotional ruin. This is not ancient history, folks. This is allegedly the blueprint for destruction that is being dusted off and deployed against the very man who thought he was her savior. Robyn did not just leave her first marriage to Preston Jessop. According to sources who have followed the situation closely, she allegedly orchestrated an exit that left him with virtually nothing while she walked away with full custody of their 3 children and positioned herself as the ultimate victim. One person familiar with the Jessop family said David never saw it coming, that one day he had a wife and family, and the next he was allegedly fighting just to see his own kids. The pattern is unmistakable when you know what to look for. Kody Brown watched this situation unfold and drew completely the wrong conclusions. He saw a damsel in distress. He saw a woman who needed rescuing from a bad marriage. He saw an opportunity to be the hero. What he allegedly failed to see was a woman who had already demonstrated exactly how she exits relationships, which is with surgical precision and maximum benefit to herself. Sources say Kody defended Robyn's version of events for years, never once questioning whether the story he was being told was the whole truth. And here is the part that should make Kody lose sleep at night. When Robyn joined the Brown family, she brought approximately $100,000 in debt from her previous life. $100,000 that Kody and the other wives collectively helped pay off. At the time, this was presented as helping Robyn get a fresh start, as supporting a new sister wife who had been through difficult times. But insiders are now asking a very different question. Was paying off her debt actually phase 1 of a much longer alleged plan? Did Robyn enter the Brown family already knowing how she would eventually exit it? Let us be brutally honest here. The woman who allegedly left Preston Jessop with nothing did not suddenly transform into a selfless partner just because she joined a plural family. Leopards do not change their spots, and according to multiple sources now re-examining her entire trajectory, Robyn's spots have been visible this entire time. We just were not looking closely enough. But to understand what is allegedly happening now, we need to revisit exactly how she executed her first exit and recognize the chilling similarities to her current alleged alleged positioning. The details of Robyn's first divorce read like a masterclass in alleged manipulation, and every Sister Wives fan should be paying close attention because sources say the playbook is allegedly being used again. When Robyn Brown, then Preston Jessop, decided her marriage to Preston Jessop was over, she did not simply file for divorce and negotiate a fair settlement. According to those familiar with the situation, she allegedly spent months positioning herself as the victim of an impossible marriage while systematically securing her exit strategy. One source close to the Jessop family described it as watching someone slowly dismantle a house while the person living in it had no idea the foundation was being removed. David allegedly woke up one day to discover his marriage was over, his children were leaving with their mother, and his financial situation was in ruins. He had been so focused on trying to make Robyn happy that he allegedly never noticed she was building a case against him with every tearful conversation and every complaint to friends and family. The custody arrangement that emerged from that divorce tells you everything you need to know about how thoroughly Robyn allegedly executed her exit. She walked away with primary custody of Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. David was reportedly left fighting for whatever scraps of visitation he could get. And here is the part that makes longtime watchers of this family absolutely furious. Robyn then spent years on Sister Wives painting David as an absent father, as someone who did not want to be involved in his children's lives, when sources say the reality was allegedly that she had made involvement nearly impossible from the start. Let that sink in for a moment. The narrative you watched on television for years about Preston Jessop being a deadbeat dad may have allegedly been a carefully constructed story designed to make Robyn look sympathetic and justify what she did. One insider who knew the family before Sister Wives said David was devastated, that he wanted to be there for his kids, but he was allegedly fighting against someone who had already won the public relations battle before it even started. The debt situation deserves another look too. Robyn entered the Brown family approximately $100,000 in debt from her first marriage. The story presented to viewers and to Kody was that David had mismanaged their finances, that Robyn was left holding the bag for his failures, but sources are now asking whether that narrative was even accurate or whether Robyn allegedly positioned herself to take the assets while leaving the liabilities behind in a way that would make her look like the injured party. The woman is allegedly brilliant at one thing, and that thing is walking away clean while someone else burns. Now fast forward to 2024, and the playbook is allegedly being dusted off for a second performance. The stage is different, the audience is larger, but sources say the strategy is allegedly identical, and the financial red flags that are now emerging suggest Kody Brown should be very, very worried. The financial structure of Kody and Robyn's life together should terrify anyone who has been paying attention because sources say Robyn has allegedly been divorce-proofing herself for years while Kody remained completely oblivious. Let us start with the most obvious piece of evidence. The massive mansion they live in, worth well over $1 million, is allegedly in Robyn's name. Not joint ownership, not in Kody's name, in Robyn's name. If that does not make you raise an eyebrow, you have not been paying attention to how divorces work. One financial expert who has analyzed the Brown family situation without having access to their actual records noted that whoever controls the real estate controls the outcome of any potential divorce proceedings. Robyn allegedly controlling the deed to their primary residence while Kody has signed away rights to property and burned bridges with everyone who might support him financially is the definition of a worst-case scenario waiting to happen. The man who once had 4 wives contributing to family finances may allegedly end up with nothing but the clothes on his back. The Coyote Pass debacle is another piece of this alleged puzzle that deserves serious examination. That property was supposed to be the Brown family's legacy, the land where they would build their dream homes and live as a plural family forever. Instead, it has become a financial disaster zone that has exposed exactly how the money in this family allegedly flows. Janelle Brown has been publicly fighting for her fair share of that property, facing obstacles at every turn. Christine walked away wanting nothing to do with it. And Robyn allegedly sits protected in her flagged Arizona mansion while everyone else fights over the scraps in Arizona. Sources close to the situation say Robyn has never contributed meaningfully to the family finances in any sustained way, yet she allegedly controls more assets than any of the other wives ever did. Let that sink in for a moment. The woman who brought $100,000 in debt into this family, who has allegedly never held a job that generated significant income, who has been financially supported by Kody and the other wives for over a decade, allegedly has her name on the most valuable asset while everyone else scrambles. That is not coincidence, folks. That is allegedly strategy. Insider speculation has reached fever pitch about what else Robyn may have allegedly been positioning. Rumors of separate bank accounts have circulated for years. Questions about where TLC money actually goes shows have never been satisfactorily answered. One source who claims familiarity with the family's financial arrangements said it is like watching someone build a lifeboat while convincing everyone else the ship is unsinkable. By the time Kody realizes what has allegedly happened, there may not be anything left to fight over. But the financial moves are allegedly only part of the strategy. What Robyn has allegedly done to Kody's relationships with his other wives and children may be even more devastating to his future prospects, and the parallels to her first divorce are absolutely chilling. If you want to understand how Robyn Brown allegedly operates, you need to look at what happened to Kody's relationships with everyone except her, because the pattern is not subtle if you are paying attention. One by one, Kody's other wives left him. One by one, his children became estranged. One by one, every support system he ever had allegedly crumbled, and the only person left standing beside him was Robyn. Coincidence? Sources close to the family say absolutely not. Let us start with Christine. The fan-favorite wife who brought warmth and humor to sister wives for years finally reached her breaking point and walked away. She has been very careful not to directly blame Robyn in public statements, but insiders say privately she allegedly believes Robyn systematically undermined her marriage for years. The favoritism was obvious. The time Kody spent with Robyn versus Christine was not even comparable. And who was allegedly whispering in Kody's ear about Christine's supposed shortcomings? One source said Christine finally realized she was not fighting for her marriage anymore because she was allegedly fighting against someone who had already won. Janelle's departure was perhaps even more telling. This was the wife who stayed practical, who stayed focused on the family, who seemed most likely to weather any storm. Yet even Janelle eventually walked away, citing Kody's treatment of her children as the final straw. And what was the source of that conflict? The pandemic rules that allegedly kept Kody isolated with only Robyn while Janelle's sons were essentially told they were not welcome. Gabe and Garrison, young men who desperately needed their father during formative years, were allegedly pushed away because they would not comply with protocols that conveniently ensured Kody stayed exactly where Robyn wanted him. Speaking of those pandemic rules, let us be brutally honest about what allegedly happened during that period. Kody Brown somehow ended up living full-time with only one wife while claiming it was about safety protocols. The rules were allegedly so strict that none of his other wives could realistically comply, yet Robyn's household somehow managed just fine. One former insider described it as the most elegant isolation technique they had ever witnessed, because Robyn allegedly convinced Kody it was his idea while ensuring she had him completely to herself. The children who have become estranged from Kody represent perhaps the most heartbreaking evidence of this alleged pattern. Gabe and Garrison have been vocal about their fractured relationship with their father. Paydon has spoken publicly about the family dysfunction. Multiple Brown children have either directly or indirectly suggested that Robyn's influence allegedly poisoned their relationships with Kody. One source said these kids watched their father choose someone over them time and time again until finally they stopped reaching out altogether. And here is the parallel that should make your blood run cold. Sources say Robyn allegedly used the exact same isolation tactics during her first marriage. Before she left David Preston Jessop, she had allegedly already created distance between him and support systems that might have helped him see what was coming. With Kody now alone, dependent entirely on Robyn, and estranged from virtually everyone who ever loved him, the final phase of her alleged exit strategy may be beginning. The interviews Robyn Brown has given recently deserve analysis from anyone who understands how pre-divorce narratives allegedly get constructed, because sources say she is already laying the groundwork for her next chapter. Every tearful confession, every claim of being misunderstood, every insistence that she has been unfairly blamed allegedly serves a very specific purpose. By the time any potential divorce proceedings begin, Robyn may have already won the court of public opinion. Watch her recent appearances closely and you will notice a very specific pattern emerging. Robyn consistently positions herself as the suffering wife who tried everything to keep the family together. She allegedly claims she never wanted the other wives to leave, that she was blindsided by Christine's departure, that she has been made the scapegoat for problems she did not create. One media analyst who has studied how public figures manage their images said this is textbook pre-separation positioning, designed to ensure that when the split happens, she already has sympathy locked in. The tears are particularly worth examining. Robyn has cried on camera more than perhaps any other reality television personality in history. And while those tears once generated sympathy from viewers, longtime fans have started asking whether they are genuine emotion or allegedly calculated performance. One body language expert who analyzed her recent interviews without being connected to the family noted that her crying often appears on cue during very specific moments, usually when she is describing how unfairly she has been treated. The timing allegedly seems almost rehearsed. Let us be brutally honest honest here about what she is allegedly doing. Every time Robyn says she has been blamed for everything, she is allegedly building a defense. Every time she claims she tried to bring the family together, she is allegedly rewriting history. Every time she presents herself as the loyal wife who stayed while others left, she is allegedly setting up a narrative where her eventual departure looks like a last resort rather than the alleged plan all along. One source who has watched multiple high-profile divorces unfold said Robyn's media strategy right now looks exactly like someone preparing to leave while ensuring they look like the victim. Compare this to what sources say happened during her first divorce. Before leaving Preston Jessop, Robyn allegedly spent months telling friends and family about how difficult her marriage was, how she had tried everything, how she was suffering in silence. By the time the divorce was announced, she had allegedly already secured sympathy from everyone in her circle. David was painted as the villain before he even knew the marriage was ending. The parallels to her current media appearances are allegedly impossible to ignore, but insiders say there is one more crucial element to her alleged exit strategy that makes it virtually impossible for Kody to fight back, and it involves the children he would do anything to keep. The role of children in Robyn's divorce strategy allegedly cannot be overstated because sources say she understands exactly how to use her kids as leverage in ways that leave her partners completely powerless. During her first divorce from Preston Jessop, sources say Robyn allegedly positioned herself as the protective mother whose children needed to be shielded from their father. She walked away with primary custody and allegedly made David's involvement as difficult as possible while publicly lamenting his absence. It was allegedly masterful, and insiders say she is prepared to do it again. Solomon and Ariella represent Kody's greatest vulnerability, and sources say Robyn allegedly knows this down to her bones. These are the children Kody has openly favored above all others. These are the kids he stayed home to raise while allegedly neglecting children from his other marriages. These are the two people in the world that Kody would arguably do anything to maintain access to. One family insider said if Robyn wanted to destroy Kody in a divorce, all she would allegedly have to do is threaten his relationship with Solomon and Ariella, and he would agree to virtually anything. Let that sink in for a moment. The man who allowed relationships with Gabe and Garrison to deteriorate, who has estranged children across multiple marriages, who allegedly chose Robyn's household over everyone else, has made himself completely vulnerable to exactly the kind of custody pressure that sources say devastated Preston Jessop. Kody allegedly did not learn from watching what happened to Robyn's first husband. He allegedly walked right into the same trap with his eyes wide open. Robyn's older children from her first marriage add another layer to this alleged dynamic. Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna are adults now, and sources say they are unquestionably loyal to their mother. Kody adopted them, gave them his name, and allegedly believed he had built an unbreakable bond with them. But insiders say if push comes to shove, those kids will allegedly side with Robyn without hesitation. They watched their mother allegedly dismantle their father's life once before. They allegedly know exactly what she is capable of, and they allegedly know which side to be on when the dust settles. One source who has analyzed custody strategies in high-conflict divorces noted that Robyn allegedly holds all the cards when it comes to the children. She is the biological mother to the youngest kids, she has cultivated their dependency on her, and she allegedly knows Kody's emotional attachment makes him easy to manipulate. If she decides to leave and wants to ensure Kody walks away with nothing, threatening his access to Solomon and Ariella allegedly gives her nuclear-level leverage. And while this alleged plan potentially unfolds piece by piece, Kody Brown remains completely oblivious to what sources say is happening right in front of his face. His blind spot when it comes to Robyn is perhaps the most frustrating part of this entire situation. The question that Sister Wives fans have been screaming at their televisions for years is simple. How can Kody not see what is allegedly happening? The man has watched his entire family collapse around him, has lost 3 wives, has become estranged from multiple children, and still allegedly cannot recognize that the common denominator in all of this destruction might be the one person he trusts completely. His blind spot when it comes to Robyn is not just frustrating, it is allegedly going to cost him everything. Part of the explanation allegedly lies in Kody's ego, which has been on full display throughout the run of Sister Wives. This is a man who believed he could lead a plural family through sheer force of personality. This is a man who allegedly thought his other wives would simply accept being deprioritized while he devoted himself to Robyn. This is a man who apparently cannot conceive of a scenario where he might be the one getting played. One psychology expert who has observed his behavior on the show noted that narcissistic tendencies often come with an inability to recognize manipulation, especially from someone who reinforces the narcissist's sense of importance. His dependency on Robyn at this point is allegedly total and complete. With Christine thriving in her post-divorce life, with Janelle building her own path forward, and with Mary finally moving on, Kody has no one left except the woman sources say has allegedly been orchestrating his isolation all along. He has burned every bridge, he has alienated every support system, he has made himself entirely reliant on someone who allegedly has a documented history of leaving partners with nothing. The irony is absolutely staggering. For years, Kody defended Robyn against accusations from his other wives, from his children, and from viewers who saw the favoritism playing out in real time. He allegedly dismissed Christine's concerns as jealousy. He allegedly ignored Janelle's practical warnings about family finances and dynamics. He allegedly failed to see Mary's increasing isolation as anything other than her own fault. Every time someone tried to warn him about Robyn, he allegedly chose her side without hesitation. Those burned bridges are allegedly going to haunt him. Fans across social media have been pointing out for months that what Kody is allegedly experiencing looks a lot like karma finally arriving. The man who allegedly enabled the destruction of his plural family in favor of a monogamous relationship with Robyn is now facing the prospect of that relationship allegedly ending the same way all his others did. One viral comment summed it up perfectly when someone wrote that Kody spent years thinking he was the main character when he was allegedly just the next chapter in Robyn's story. But there is one group of people who allegedly saw this coming long before anyone else, and their perspective on what is unfolding should make everyone pay close attention. The former wives of Kody Brown have watched this situation unfold with what sources say is a complicated mixture of vindication and concern, because allegedly they tried to warn everyone about Robyn years ago. Christine, Janelle, and even Mary at various points allegedly saw patterns that viewers are only now beginning to recognize. The question is whether they feel satisfied watching their predictions allegedly come true, or whether they have any sympathy left for the man who allegedly chose Robyn over all of them. Christine Brown's post-divorce life has become a testament to what happens when you escape an allegedly toxic situation. She is thriving, she is happy, she has found love again, she has rebuilt relationships with her children, and created a life that fans overwhelmingly celebrate. The contrast between Christine's apparent joy and Kody's alleged impending disaster could not be more stark. One source close to Christine said she does not take pleasure in watching Kody struggle, but she allegedly is not surprised by anything that is happening either. She reportedly saw this coming from the moment Robyn joined the family. Janelle's recent statements about the Coyote Pass drama have been particularly revealing about her perspective on Robyn's alleged role in the family's financial chaos. She has been fighting for what she believes is rightfully hers while allegedly watching Robyn remain protected in her mansion. Sources say Janelle is allegedly frustrated but not shocked by how the situation has unfolded. She reportedly tried for years to raise concerns about family finances and decision-making, only to allegedly be dismissed by Kody in favor of whatever Robyn wanted. Even Mary, who held on longer than anyone expected, has allegedly expressed private concerns about how the family's resources were allegedly concentrated around Robyn while others struggled. Her departure from the family, while complicated by years of her own drama, allegedly came with a clear-eyed assessment of where the power in the Brown family actually resided. One insider said Mary allegedly told friends she felt like she was the last one to see what everyone else already knew about Robyn's alleged influence over Kody. The vindication these women might feel is allegedly tempered by genuine concern for the children still caught in this situation, particularly Kody's younger kids with Robyn and the ripple effects any divorce would have on an already fractured family. But sources say none of them are allegedly surprised by the direction things seem to be heading. They watched Robyn's alleged playbook unfold in real time for over a decade. They allegedly tried to sound alarms that Kody refused to hear, and now they are allegedly watching history repeat itself. So what happens when Robyn allegedly executes her final move? And what might Kody Brown's future actually look like when the dust settles? The picture of Kody Brown's potential future is not pretty, and sources say he may allegedly be facing a level of devastation that even the most dramatic reality television moments could not have predicted. A man who once had 4 wives, 18 children, and a television empire built around his family leadership allegedly stands on the brink of losing everything he thought he had built. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. If Robyn allegedly executes the same strategy she used on David Preston Jessop, Kody could find himself without a home since the mansion is allegedly in her name. He could find himself fighting for access to Solomon and Ariella, the children he openly favored at the expense of relationships with his other kids. He could find himself financially devastated, having allegedly allowed assets to be positioned in ways that protect Robyn while leaving him exposed. And he could find himself completely alone, having burned every relationship that might have provided support during the hardest time of his life. The timeline for when this alleged plan might reach its conclusion is anyone's guess. Some sources speculate that Robyn may allegedly wait until the TLC money is no longer flowing, ensuring she has extracted maximum financial benefit before making her move. Others suggest she might allegedly accelerate if she believes the public narrative is shifting against her and she needs to get out before her victim status becomes harder to maintain. One insider said the only person who knows Robyn's alleged timeline is Robyn herself, and she has allegedly proven she is willing to wait years to execute a plan. What makes this situation particularly devastating is the ultimate irony at its center. Kody Brown allegedly enabled his own destruction. He chose Robyn over Christine, and Christine is now thriving while he allegedly suffers. He chose Robyn over Janelle, and Janelle is building a new life while he allegedly loses everything. He chose Robyn over his children, and now those relationships may never be repaired while he allegedly faces losing access to the kids he does have. Every decision that led him to this alleged moment was his own choice, made in favor of a woman who sources say has allegedly been planning this outcome all along. The question that will haunt Sister Wives viewers for years to come is whether Robyn allegedly planned this from the moment she entered the Brown family, or whether Kody's behavior created the circumstances that made this alleged outcome inevitable. Did she allegedly see him as a mark from day one, a successful polygamist with a television platform she could exploit, or did she allegedly adapt her strategy based on his obvious favoritism and willingness to sacrifice everyone else for her? The answer may not matter. The result allegedly looks the same either way. Kody Brown may allegedly go down in reality television history as the man who had everything and lost it all because he could not see the truth about the person closest to him. He allegedly defended her against everyone who tried to warn him. He allegedly chose her over family, over children, over his own legacy. And now, according to sources, he allegedly stands on the brink of experiencing exactly what Preston Jessop experienced years ago. The circle is allegedly closing. The pattern is allegedly repeating, and Kody may allegedly have no one to blame but himself. When the final chapter of this story allegedly gets written,